Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Happy Friday, and I hope you have a wonderful day ahead as we dive into the weekend, as we recuperate, recharge, and celebrate. Some of you would have seen that video me in case of did in Paisa Bolte about how small of the Indian population segment is actually participating in our stock market. In terms of directly buying in the stock market is around 8 crores. People who are investing through mutual funds is around 3 crores, while the population stands over 144 crores. And that number and those percentages was an eye-opener for Kesav, especially when you see it compared to other numbers. All this time I've been telling him there's only 1%, 2% are participating. He really didn't digest it. He was like, sir is saying something. Then when he saw the numbers racked up against mobile phone users and Aadhaar card users, and how fast Aadhaar card permeated in the Indian population through the government's influence and government's desire to make sure everyone had an Aadhaar card. Same way, if we take the impetus as a population to invest and to start forging our fortunes, we would be far better as a nation, where we would not require the government to bail us out now and then, that we'd be enough self-reliance in our individual person, that we'll be able to rely on our own self and we won't need anybody to look out for us. So that said, that got Kesav thinking. He went back home and he asked his family near and dear ones, so do you guys know about stock market? How do you invest? How do you grow your wealth? Most of them turned around to Kesav and told them they don't know anything about stock market and they do not do anything in mutual funds. Though Kesav has been working with us for quite some time and they've been seeing Kesav's video, I guess they really don't listen to the video, they've just been watching Kesav, because Kesav is quite a handsome guy. So anyway, so when Kesav did the probe further to see how they are saving money, most of them came back and said they keep their money in gold. People who cannot afford real estate, who cannot think of any other form of securing their money against inflation, hedging against inflation, gold seems to be their basic form of investment. So Kesav thought that we should talk about this today and dive deep down into this. Why is gold such a allure for Indians and maybe the broader world? Why do we hold on to this gold? Gold historically has always been for human beings something precious. Don't know why. It's something in our DNA, something woven into us, that we strongly have this fascination with gold. Maybe it's something to do with the sun. There's a lot of theories behind that. In the process of human evolution, we realize the importance of the sun, and the sun during morning and evenings is a golden ball in the sky. Maybe that affinity towards being the source of light, the source of life, gold is entwined with that, and we think the gold is something that is part of that. It is true scientifically that gold does come from birth. When stars are dying, that's when these heavy metals form in a process called supernova. So there is some element of truth to that, but other than that, I don't understand why human beings have this strong fascination with gold, and why we always feel that we must hold on to gold, because gold, other than our fascination with it, really doesn't have any other use. We can't do anything much with it. It's a very soft metal, it's non-reactive metal, and there's really little we can do with gold other than enjoy it. We draw back to our history. You can see it in Indian history and mythology. Gold has always played an important part. It's deeply embedded in our religion. That is one of the main reasons Indians have this fascination with gold. In all our stories, in all our temples, in all our places of worship, all our gods and goddesses are covered in gold from head to toe, and all the stories revolve around gold. So from a young childhood, it is infused in us to believe that gold is the ticket out. This is as far as Indians are concerned. As the rest of part of humanity is concerned, this is true across Africa. This is true across all of Europe too. Some of it is religious, but most of it is non-religious for the rest of the world. I wouldn't say it is tied into Christianity and Islam or any other religion as much as it's tied into our Hinduism, the fascination with gold. And Indians are one of the world's largest consumers of gold, and that's why usually gold price in India will always be slightly higher compared to what is happening around the world. Now, moving into the sphere of investing. If you are from the old school means my generation or older, we've always been taught that to divide your wealth into 5 regions. So one, is to invest in gold, another is to invest in real estate, the other is to keep it as FD, and some of it you can keep as cash. The fifth one you're allowed to spend in whatever form of other asset class you see. So usually we would be advised to take our earnings and split them into 5. And one of the main investment opportunities, if you cannot afford real estate, like I said earlier, was gold. So gold will get majority of lion's share of investing. And the simple reason is gold is a great hedge against inflation. The bottom line is that today I buy 10 grams of gold. Yes, it may not give me in terms of returns as an investment, but at least it locks me against losing value. It's a storehouse of value, as Anand will always say. That means whatever you put inside gold, gold retains it. Money doesn't. Even FD doesn't. So let's say you have 100 rupees in the bank today, and even if you put it as an FD and you're getting 7%, 8%, it's always right 1 or 2% below inflation, and it will always remain there, because the product of fixed deposit created by the banks is built into this, where it never beats inflation, because the bank needs to beat inflation, because the bank takes your money and they in turn lend out that money at a higher interest rate, and they make profit out of that. Then they have their operational costs which they have to deduct from that, and net result what they can give you is always little below inflation, and that's a basic fact. And banks which offer you on par with inflation or more than inflation, those are really not very sound, solid banks, and none of us would put our money into it. Especially in Tamil Nadu, we have a long history of these kinds of benefit funds, they call them, and we had a long history of them. All kinds of benefit funds were running through Tamil Nadu. And we know the history of this and the catastrophe that happened to a lot of middle class and lower middle class who invested in these benefit funds and lost all their savings. So if you look at it in that context, gold is the only option for lower middle class and middle class as a storehouse of value. This has changed in the recent years thanks to the stock market and mutual funds, but change is always very slow. And the change to realizing that there is an opportunity here, investing in the economy directly, that's what you're basically doing. By buying into the stock market, or especially buying into the index funds, you're directly investing into the Indian economy. And by investing directly into the Indian economy, you stand to profit. Not like gold, but even better than gold, is something which is being recently only learned by Indians. NSE is a very young stock exchange, though BSE is a very old stock exchange. Active trading in the BSE is only there for the last, I would say, 35 years or maybe 40 years, where people were actively slowly trading, and that has been increasing. And of course, a bit of a bad press. People don't understand things about the stock market, and whatever they do read about it is in the newspaper, and newspapers tend to sensationalize this, creating kind of exaggeration in the viewer's mind, reader's mind, and it's played up to like everything which is there in the stock market is a gamble, and you tend to lose money, and you see all these scams which break out. And so the layman in India is very wary of putting his money, because he works very hard and he doesn't want to lose his money, and that to put it in some place where he doesn't understand what is happening. And you just say you put money and you get it. At least in terms of gold, you have something physically in your hand which you know, and has a long history which runs very deep in our mental ethos, so it's something you can relate to and you won't have to worry about it. And something great about gold is when you have it in your hand and you have an emergency, you have a situation where you need quick cash, you can walk across to any gold shop or pawn shop, drop it across the table and pick up money and walk out. And that flexibility, no other investment class, even the stock market and mutual funds don't have this. Even the bond market doesn't have this. Bonds take time to sell. And even FDs, you have to go break open the FD and the bank has to credit it back into your account, and you have to draw the cash out, which is all time consuming. At worst case, it might take a day or two. Gold that way has this capacity to immediately be able to liquidate and move. You can store a lot of value, meaning a lot of money can be put into a small unit of space that the gold has, which stock market doesn't have. None of your other platforms have. You cannot keep boxes of cash in your house. A barbell of gold, let's say even if you have 20 kilos of gold, which is around 21 kilos of gold, which is worth around $1 million, will only occupy around this much of space. And it's phenomenal to think in the capacity, if you can think that you can store $1 million in just 21 kilos of gold in your hand, which is like a bar of gold, just this much. And that is something fascinating, because to keep $21 million in cash, that too in Indian rupees, it will take up pretty much the entire studio room which I'm sitting in right now. So that is one of the main reasons why people love gold. And it's easy to transport, it's easy to transfer. Unlike anything else, stock market, if I want to transfer this to my children, or I want to give it to a friend, or if I want to give this as a wedding gift, there's so many things, hurdles in it. They must have an account, I must have an account, and then I must do transfer. So it gets all really messy. While in terms of gold, it's not true. And another thing is, gold is not traceable or trackable as much as media places it up to be. I can keep 3-4 bars of gold and no one will even know about it, and it can go on for generations. This is proof of this is in all our temples. The mythology and the stories behind the temples in Kerala, where there are 7 rooms, they say, and the one last room is a room which they have not even opened up and it's sealed, and they don't even know how to open that room. And you hear all these conspiracy theories about it. That's a strength of gold. You can keep gold inside a place and it can stay there and people can forget about it, and years later you can find it and its value is still intact. So this is one of the main reasons why Indians love gold. And we have never historically trusted our rulers. I'm talking about from way back, before the British, before the Mughals, even in the times of the Cholas, Pandyas, whatever was there. You want to go back, rewind the clock. India has always been a very volatile country, because there were lots of rulers, up and down, kingdoms coming up and down, cropping up and disappearing after a few hundred years or even less than that. So as a citizen of this country, if you wanted to secure your future and your family's future, gold was always the option, and still continues to be. Yes, now with the advance of technology and availability of investing in other platforms, will gold continue to be the number one storehouse of value? Now that there's a lot of confusion now with this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency there, I don't put much water in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because it is man-made. That's the basic problem with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, is that it's man-made. I have an issue with that. And the reason why I have an issue with that is, if it's man-made, it's as good as our currency, which is rupees, dollars, whatever you want to take. It's all man-made. Gold, on the other hand, as of now, as of day to day, it cannot be man-made. Even diamonds can be grown in labs now. So even semi-precious and precious stones don't have any more value compared to gold. Till the day we are able to manufacture gold in vast quantity at a low cost, I don't think gold is going to lose value. Or the other reason gold can lose value is if the human species as a whole one day wakes up and says gold is not great, gold is not something fascinating. And if that happens, yes, gold will lose value. It can be good as a rock which is there on the road. I don't see any of that happening. Till that point of time, you can be rest assured gold will always be dominant. Gold will always be the flight of safety, and money will always go to gold whenever there's a lot of uncertainty in the market and there's a lot of confusion and fear in the market. And right now the world is full of fear. What is happening in the Middle East is very fearful. What is happening in Europe with Ukraine is very fearful. What is even happening in American civil society is very fearful. And these are where majority of wealth is right now stored and created, and all that wealth will find refuge in gold, because majority of the people holding wealth in those countries will be looking for gold. So looking into the future, gold prices should tick up because of the simple reason of so much of fear frothing in the market. How much will it go? When it will go? How wide will it go? I cannot predict. But one rest assured, if you do hold on to it, you don't lose value. Gold has always been steady in its growth and steady in its price. Unless you're trading in gold on a daily basis, you don't really have to worry about it. You can buy gold and put it there and keep it, and your value is safe, and you can hold it for a long period of time. So these are the reasons why gold has always been fascinated by human beings, and especially in India. And that's the main reason why we pass it on to our children during weddings and functions. Any Indian Hindu function we attend to, the gift of choice is to give a gold coin or a gold chain or a gold ring, some form of gold wealth we want to transfer, and we want to ensure that gold wealth which we do transfer to the new beginning is a form of wealth which will hold its value. Anyway, I hope you found this podcast interesting as always, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and do take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you in the next one soon. Thank you.